in terms of the money that is out there, you've also made the recommendation that we need to modernize the multilateral development banks, such as the World Bank. How would that work, and how feasible is that?
So I've made the case that a few things need to happen. And by the way, I haven't made this case. It's been a case made by a group of economists, political leaders that have come together, initially called the Bridgetown Initiative, in recognition of Prime Minister Mia Mottley's leadership from Barbados, but then picked up and accelerated and amplified by President Macron at the Paris Financing Summit in June, and then the African Climate Summit in September that President Ruto of Kenya hosted. So it's a global movement around a set of very, very simple principles. The first principle is, instead of having 5-year debt workouts and a 5-year time horizon on lending and repayment, we need 15, 20, 30-year mindset and deal terms around helping countries overcome the debt crisis they're in right now and have the resources to invest in a climate transition. And while there are a number of kind of technical elements to that, it's that shift in mindset from short term to long term is the only way we're going to be successful. The second shift has to be around looking at real concessionality. In the current macro environment, you're simply not going to drive capital to renewable energy projects, unless you have enough grant money or very low cost capital that can help motivate private capital to come alongside of it. Rockefeller, together with the IKEA Foundation, the Bezos Earth Fund, created the Global Energy Alliance to do that. We can talk about that in a moment, but we need many more of those examples, and we need developed nations like the United States to lead the charge in making that kind of low cost new capital available. That's what's not happening right now in the current construct. And then third, critically, we just need new tools and new instruments so that these resources that are being provided can be tethered to actual private investment. A lot of that has to come from domestic sources of capital and local currency sources of capital. And some of that must come from revitalizing aid and the aid architecture. But, aid to Africa, for example, was down from 2021 to 2022, is likely to be down again in 2023 when all the numbers are assessed. In that kind of an environment, it's very hard to then ask countries to make these large investments in greening their economies.